start out today by saying something that I think really needs to be said. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I really don't want to come together with everybody else on the planet. There are some really, really sick, very, very bad people on the planet that I definitely do not want to spend my time with. But I want to talk today on the subject of coming together on the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host, I'm Kurt, and today is Thursday, the 2nd of June of 2022. Welcome to everyone who's here on, Rumble, the podcast, YouTube, BitChute, CloudHub, my Facebook page, that's the Kurt's Religion and Politics page there, kurtzreligionandpolitics.locals.com, minds.com, that's minds.com, on the Kurt's Religion and Politics group there, on Parler, on Gab, on Twitter, or wherever else you happen to be picking me up today. Subject again for today is coming together, and I'm going to take the time to go through my notes. I'm trying to get to into the habit of looking at the camera instead of looking at, off at the notes, but it's hard for me to do, so I'm working on that as time goes on. Can I just point something out? If you go back in time a couple of thousand years, you're going to find a bunch of folks who were out to annihilate Christians. I'm not claiming exclusive province for us believers where this is concerned. That would be ridiculous. I will say, for the most part, at the time this was happening, those calling on Jesus called Christ were literally sheep going to the slaughter. I know others calling that venerated name later on have often suffered the same fate. And, lest you honestly believe I'm so silly as to account this something that has only occurred in the Christian community, you can be sure the Jews have suffered similar realities throughout their existence. Is either group, or both of them, unique in this? Certainly not. So many groups of folks and individuals have suffered persecution and mayhem as to make it completely impossible to do a full accounting, and for a very wide variety of reasons. It's not just their beliefs, that's one thing that has done that. Today, if I walked into certain countries and professed my faith, I would be jailed and possibly disappear, maybe never to be seen or heard from again. It's possible in this state, it's people in this state you talk to about coming together, right? This is who you're telling they need to come together. And I'll repeat for clarity, 'twas ever thus. It's always been that way. This is not some new thing, nor is it something any sensible human being can envision going away. Think this is about my intolerance? I may tell a person he cannot marry another man under the auspices of Christianity. To begin with, that was not my decision to make, but something I've been told is true whether I like it or want it or not, and not by some pastor somewhere, but by the book we Christians count to be our law. And I put law in quotes because that's not really what it is. It's what we believe to be true, but it's not per se our law. On top of that, I have no interest in stoning such folks to death or even doing more than gently telling them I count them incorrect in their choices. You're Muslim? I count you to be wrong. That said, I'm not here to kill or even persecute you for being so. What I'm saying shouldn't even need to be said as I see it. The fact is, coming together is not impossible because I disagree with you. I still count you a child of God, worthy of the same treatment all other such progeny deserve. Others are not that way. They can and will persecute and martyr others for things they deem worthy of such acts. Keep talking about folks coming together, but remember this: it's hard to coexist when the others listed on that bumper sticker that you'll see are out to kill you. It's really difficult, guys. If you tell me you go to a Muslim country and you preach Christianity and Muslims listen to you and they decide that you're saying something that they find appealing, attractive, or whatever, or they see visions or whatever it happens to be, and people in that community then decide that you're doing something that's unlawful because you can't teach anything but Islam in that country, they're going to kill you for it. You come into my country and you try and teach Islam, I'm not going to kill you for it. I'm going to tell people I believe you're wrong, but I'm not going to kill you for it. You slander the name of Jesus Christ, well, I consider you to be wrong again. I consider my belief to be correct, and I consider the belief that you appear to have, which is, in my opinion, completely wrong, to be exactly that. Does that mean that I think you should be hung from the highest yardarm, or does it mean that you should be jailed for an indefinite period or killed in some way? No, that's not what that means. What it means is that I disagree with you, and now it's a battle in the marketplace, as many people put it, of ideas. That's what it comes down to. We talk about what we believe, and you lose. And you lose because I know that I can do a better job of telling people about Christianity and what a wonderful thing it is than you can do about Islam. You can make Islam sound good to people who are looking for a taskmaster. And if they're looking for anything else, Islam is probably not the place to go to find it. There's not a loving God in Islam. There's not a prophet who happens to be God himself, having come, to earth in the flesh. There's none of that. There's nothing to necessarily tell you about how you're going to heaven or anything else. But my simple point is this. If you think that I'm going to come together with a bunch of people who are interested in doing me injury or killing me, you are confused. It's not going to happen. And it isn't that I hate them, and it isn't that I even don't like them. It's that we don't agree, and that means on their part they're willing to do harm, malicious things, or even potentially kill me or others who believe as I do. It isn't about me saying you guys are bad guys. It's about other people deciding that they can and should do me harm as a result of what it is that they believe. If you think that's okay, I guess that's fine and everything, but you need to understand where I will work to live with those people as best I can in every situation I'm able to do so, no matter whether they're in the United States or somewhere else. When they decide that they're going to kill me off if I just am who I am, that's going to be a problem. And it's going to mean that we're not going to do a great job of coming together. You can pretty much count on that. And it's whether I'm going to be running from them or whether I'm going to be standing my ground. When you have people out there, like I say, and those people are saying, you deserve death, or you deserve to be a third-class citizen or whatever as a result of the fact that you're not a believer as I believe. And that's however it is. I'm going to say this again. I don't believe in homosexuality. I don't believe it's a good thing. I don't believe it's a proper thing. I don't believe in transgenderism. I don't believe it's a good thing. I don't believe it's a proper thing. But if you ask me what I'm going to do about that, in general, I'm just going to tell people this is what I believe, and we're going to go from there. Okay? I'm not going to go around trying to smash you, to throw you off of buildings or anything like that you can find happening in places where Islam is the rule. I'm not going to do that. But if you ask a person who is, for example, a socialist or a communist, can Kurt be what Kurt is and live in your world? If they're honest with you, they're going to answer no. Why? Because I do not support communism. I do not support socialism. That's not a thing. And they can't live in a world where everybody's not in support of what it is that they're looking for. This is why coming together is not a thing, people. It is not because I'm sitting here and thinking to myself, I hate and can't tolerate these individuals if they can tolerate me. That's not what's happening. That's not what's going on. What's happening is I'm thinking, I can deal with other people if they can accept me, if they can tolerate me. But you know what? If they can't, that is a problem. It's a problem, okay? And the thing is, I'm either going to have to run away, or I'm going to have to fight, or I'm going to have to do something to keep myself alive when those people are around. And I promise you, they're not going to come together with me because they've come to the conclusion that I'm not somebody they can come together with. If this is how things are working, you have to know coming together is not going to be a thing. For all of you people wanting to sing Kumbaya around the fire pit, whatever it happens to be, the open roaring fire, you need to be aware that there are a bunch of people who don't want to sing Kumbaya because that's some Christian tune and they're Muslim or whatever. Same thing applies to people who are, like I say, socialist or communist. Religion is the opiate of the masses, right? So that can't be a good thing. That can't work. We can't allow that. Goodness no. So when you say, you guys, you need to all come together, what is it going to take for us all to come together? Well, what it would take is something that's not going to happen. Intelligent people realize there will always be people who disagree with other people to such an extent that they will refuse to even get along with them, much less actually be a part of the same community that they're in without that being a problem. Okay, this has been the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host, I'm Kurt, and today is Thursday, the 2nd of June of 2022. That's coming up hard on the weekend. Tomorrow being Friday, the 3rd of June of 2022. That's right up there on the weekend. Thank you for everyone who's been here on Rumble, the podcast, on YouTube, on BitChute, on CloutHub, on my Facebook page. That's the Kurt's Religion and Politics page there. On Kurt's Religion and Politics.locals.com, on minds.com, on the Kurt's Religion and Politics group there, on Parler, on Gab, or on Twitter. Subject for today has been coming together, and tomorrow we're going to talk about the idea of respect and fear, and we're going to talk about how those things are not the same and how people maybe are misconstruing fear and assuming that oftentimes it's actually fair to count it respect. It is not. Thank you for coming along today. Hope everything is going well for you. Hope you're doing well. And hopefully we will see you on Friday the 3rd, 2022's edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. The speaker on this edition of the Daily Summation is Kurt Schubert. This podcast was created on Thursday the 2nd of June of 2022. The Daily Summation is created for Kurt's Religion and Politics. Thanks for watching today's edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. Don't forget to come back tomorrow to check out the next one. Remember, on various platforms, primarily Rumble, YouTube, BitChute, and CloutHub, and the audio podcast, you can subscribe to my content. For the audio podcast, you probably want to use Apple, Google, or Spotify. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. In order to find me on those platforms, you can go to the Kurt's Religion and Politics channels on Rumble, YouTube, BitChute, and CloutHub. You can also get to my content on Facebook by finding the Kurt's Religion and Politics page there. minds.com, where you will find me at the Kurt's Religion and Politics group, and Kurt's Religion and Politics.locals.com as well. You can look there. I post my daily video on various social media sites, really only about 3, Parler, Gab, and Twitter at present. I am at KP Schubert on each of them, and you can find me under them, and you can find the videos under me. You should be able to find my podcasts on Google and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's also on podcasts.kpschubert.com. That's podcasts with an S, .kpschubert.com. If you're looking for me on various of the podcast sites, you probably want to search Kurt's Religion and Politics, not the Daily Summation. Keep in mind, you can subscribe to my content on various places that I put it. All constructive feedback is welcome. You can like, dislike, add a rumble, or give whatever feedback is available on any of the platforms that you can do such things. You can also add a comment on what I put there. Unless you're advertising or doing something that I believe will harm others, I'll leave your comments out there even if I don't agree with or understand them. I will try to let you know I've seen them when possible and may reply if I feel it's reasonable, appropriate, and possible, of course. Thanks again for viewing this edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. Don't forget to come back again for tomorrow's